Today we are going to talk about healthcare and just my own experience with the healthcare experience. Now with someone growing up pretty healthy person as a kid, I was always active doing sports. I could eat as much junk food and never get fat, so on. So I never gave the healthcare system that much thought. Until when I was 20, I was diagnosed with a neurological condition. A condition in which my nerves would send signals to my lower face, causing moving and twitching in response. It would give me a strangling sensation and clicking to the ears, which caused me all sorts of pain and stress. Yeah, I had the usual weekly appointments, urgent ones if it got bad. Had to do plenty of research on the internet because it was so rare. Even the doctors didn't know. Swallow a lot of pills every day. Having to work my entire lifetime table to this illness in which there was no cure in response. There was depression, anger, and times I acted unpredictable to the people who were trying to help me. And I was pushing them away. It affected my attendance in college at the time because I was going at college when it started happening. And of course the intense pain from these muscle movements which lasted for weeks. And the saying is, who has health has everything. That is true, as health affects your physical and mental well-being. It affects you financially and socially. And it reduces your life, and if you get ill, it will reduce your lifestyle in many ways which will make you lack confidence. It will make you feel weak, depressed, useless, and will make you have low self-esteem. You can't take up new things. Heck, you can't even do the things you could do before. You feel like a burden. You feel like you've become a slave to other people, who's ever's looking after you. You feel like family members will have full control over you, and it's all these feelings of why dealing with an illness is a huge stress. So during the time, I've gone through a lot of surgery, and I've done both single universal payer and have gone private. So I think I can now compare the two. Now, I live in the UK, which does have an NHS. The only problem is there's no competition due to the NHS. Even though you have choice, people usually go for the free one because, well, it's free. Now, just in general, when the government is able to provide a better service than the free market, it really does say a lot about the economic ambitions of your country. Yeah. Not everyone like me grew up in a stable family household. Not everyone can afford private. And even when it comes to free insurance, it's still government assistance, so you may as well just get a complete NHS. That's why in America they have this Obamacare. I don't see the point in it. Either you just go private or go public. Yeah. You never know. So if you support private, here's what I say. You never know when you're going to go bankrupt. You may be a free market guy because you know you can afford high services, but you could lose it all the next day. And what would you do then? Once again, we're all prone to bankruptcy as well as illness. And you may be a good business shark and make the right choices like a good entrepreneur, but once again, we only control our interests to a point, because once again, things may happen beyond our control that may affect you anyways. Like a huge stock market crash, a bank in liquidation, a huge war, natural disaster, a time where everyone is in an emergency is going to be taking out huge loans in order to save themselves, causing all that money you have stored up gone like a goldfish in a piranha tank. So isn't it not good that there is a basic standard healthcare backup plan? So you may have all the money in the world, but if you put all that money into bank, the bank goes into liquidation, your money's going to be deemed useless. And you could say taxes, but there will always be government programs and there will always be taxes, and there's plenty of money out there. The US spent more on its military, which was enough to cure world hunger 3 times over. And last time I checked, it was not a defensive budget, it was an offensive one. After the Cold War, all that money literally have been going on to fight a bunch of unorganised guerrilla insurgents in third world countries. This isn't the old days, no one wants war, no one gains anything from it apart from a pointless ego hit which makes weak men feel powerful. And the more accessible the healthcare, the more chances that people keep healthy, are able to work, and then pay their taxes. People think it's the government forking this out of thin air. No, the government money comes from the civilian productivity and civilian taxes from their wages. So yeah, I'm all up for taxes going into stuff that will better human progress, but if it's going to go to pay for a bunch of pointless wars in the Middle East, then I honestly don't see the point. It's just a waste of money, and you're just slowing down the speed of your own progress in your own civilization, your own country. And it's a bit selfish how you don't mind the government building roads, but healthcare is outrageous because roads are cheap and it's lower taxes. However, we also have government funded schools, which really is the most pointless and most expensive thing out there. So if you're against free healthcare but support free government education, then I'm sorry, you have some very questionable priorities there. So if you have an issue with healthcare but not roads and schools, then like I said, and some people only take part of the argument because they're die-hard conservatives and think they can only be conservative if they're opposed to single universal care. This is a very American attitude of thinking. Here in the UK we currently have a Tory Conservative government and an NHS. The NHS in fact is a national treasure by both Labour and the Tories. And no one would think of selling it off private. It would be seen as a treasonous act in the entire Parliament. So this weird correlation is just useless political tribalism. That it must be called out to its bullshit. However, when I did get my illness, in which I first tried the NHS, due to it being the standard thing, it usually meant it was insanely crowded, overpacked, always busy, and it takes months to get an appointment. So I'm going to now say stuff in respect to private now. And this was just a huge frustration because your health is no joke in life. In life you want the best performances possible, and if you have a funny lump, well I'm sorry, you can't wait 3 months for an appointment, in which you'll explain what's wrong with you, then you have to go to many appointments to investigate it, and then all this time and all this wait can have serious consequences. So I didn't mock the idea of how you have to be rich to live well under the system. If you expect it for free, they just wait for you to die. Like in private, if you don't have the money, well, you're just going to die anyway. Under the social, they just drain you out and wait you out till you die. So, yeah. And because it was always busy, I felt like the GPs just treated me like another dot in the picture. You were just one in the many. They were desperate to get you out of there within 5 minutes. And you get a different GP, they do the same thing. You have to explain everything to them and start the entire case with them all over. If you were never assertive enough, they just wouldn't bother about you, and things would never get done, and the illness in time would only spread, the pain get worse. My lifestyle would further drain down, and it was just a disaster. So I decided to go private. Now, I could never go private on my own. It's lucky that my parents were both working. Now, because it's private and you have choice and they don't, they treat you with effort. They know very well that if they don't, it's like a business. If they don't provide you the best service, you'll just cut them off, and then that causes the doctors to become more motivated and to take you more seriously. So yeah, private is expensive. They know they're going to get a huge cut from you. It's not like some corner shop where if you boycott it, they don't care because they're going to get plenty of customers in there anyway. You're no big loss. But with private healthcare, because it's expensive, they will make an effort, trust me. So because of that, it means you're top ball and they're in full game mode, and you're always free to book an appointment when you want. And to the people who say it's expensive, yeah, but it's your health and everything. Your health is worth everything. You should put your money into all your health. Physical pain, I don't care, you will pay any price to get the hell out of pain, you know, so it's worth it. Private healthcare is worth it if you have the money for it. I suggest if you have the wages for it, you invest in it. So Therefore, you can be more productive, work harder, knowing your life depends on your earnings, thus making you more motivated. And it could help in the long run if you ever come across that weird bump. Now you're an entire month into that investigation under private. While under free, that entire month you should be getting your first appointment, so. Plus, when healthcare becomes business, if they don't do it well, you can always sue them. Spread the word of how bad their services are. Because of this, doctors under private will never be lazy and will never want to just get you out the room as fast as possible. However, what I don't like about private is the corruption of doctors operating without a medical license, health agencies branding together to keep cannabis and many other natural herb remedies illegal so it doesn't affect our income. Being able to bump up the prices of pills to whatever price they want to the point where they become legal drug dealers. Keeping their patients as ill as long as possible or looking to extend the suffering because if they die then it's less business for you. So anyways, this is just my opinion on healthcare. So yeah, so public has many benefits and flaws and private has many benefits and flaws. So yeah, but like I said, the meaning of this video is health is everything and treasure your health. So yeah, see you in my next video. Peace.